Hello, my name is Raymond Chukwu, the founder and CEO of Black Technologies Advancement. I'm also an aerospace engineer with particular emphasis on aerospace medicine. Today, I really want to discuss briefly about the economy and technology, because if you really sit down and think about where the economy is going in the 21st century, you will realize that the gap between the rich and the low income or the middle income is widening. And the question is, why is this happening? I believe that this is happening because if you look back in the 90s, that's when this information technology economy comes into play. And at that point in time, there was a lot of interest in information technology because so many organizations saw the benefits in this area. So a lot of companies like Google and the rest of them saw the whole investment made in this area because this was the time that Clinton came into office. So they embarked on this internet technology. So as these companies started to embark on this technology sector, other areas of science and technology were completely neglected and ignored. This is the more reason that you see that productivity in the technology sector has actually declined. And based on this decline, you can see that the job for pure engineering, mathematics and science is not really progressing, accelerating as it should. This has really serious impact on the economic growth, because when you look at internet technology, IT is mostly information recycling. You can see all these companies that this information recycling. I always have to say Google and the rest of them. They do information recycling, which is based completely on communication, cell phone, iPad, GPS, all these things. So nobody's putting them down. They're helping the society, they're helping the economy, but they still have their own drawbacks, because with the internet technology or with all this iPad or your cell phone, all these things, a lot of students are now lazy. Not students, this makes most of us lazy, because before somebody can be able to memorize something like 10, 15, 20, 30, 100 phone numbers of your relatives, your friends. You know how to dial them. But now you can hardly remember your own phone number, which I think is a big disadvantage. Now before, when you try to go some places, you use your memory, use imagination. You try to remember where you're going in case you lost. But now with the GPS, you don't know where you're going. If whatever GPS says, that's where you go. So this, just advantages and disadvantages. But again, with this information technology, with all this cell phone, iPad and the rest of them, is affecting our students also, because now students are really not into science and engineering as they were like in the 80s or something like that. So most of the students you see now, they're just interested in this do their cell phone, this and that, because of there is really no interest in this area, so they just drifting. You ask the student what you're studying, or political science or economics or this and that. As a matter of fact, I met one student in San Jose State. I asked myself, what you taking? He says, I'm trying to find myself. I think I'm gonna study engineering. I asked him, what type of engineering? He said, I don't know. So these are the type of problems that students are facing all over the place. Nobody is putting the information technology down, but for the fact that information technology is creating a lot of relaxation labs, or it's just making most people not using their memory, which of course is very, very important. And also, one thing with information technology, it brings out a lot of things against society, and nobody is able to find a kind of measure that's going to say, hey, if you hack, this is how you're going to stop it. If you're doing this, this is how you're going to stop it. If somebody puts fake information on somebody all over the network, there should be a kind of measure that could say, no, this or that, or won't even be able to post them. So this is what is creating the issue within information technology. But the point I want to make is that information technology has actually slowed down the progress in science and technology. Take, for instance, in the area of energy, renewable energy. Everybody's talking about solar and wind, and so many researchers, so many research teams, they say, oh, it's at very early stage. That this is at very early stage, not remembering that or thinking that this is research in this area goes back in the 60s or 50s, or even before then. The problem with renewable energy sector is that when the interest in IT dominated the whole sector, everybody but interest lagged. So that when it comes to something like solar or wind, the progress in those areas have not been maximized. Because if you take any of them, for instance, an average person cannot afford the solar or the wind to be their key power source. They cannot. But with advanced research and science in this area, so many low-income families should be able to afford the electricity bills. Now, with solar or wind, the cost of kilowatt per hour, you're looking at like maybe around $1 or below, something below per kilowatt. But if there is a way, which of course that's what science will do, to get solar or wind to a point where it's going to be something like 2 cents, 3 cents, 4 cents per kilowatt, low-income families should be able to enjoy the benefits of renewable energy, and then get us out from the current energy sources that is polluting the environment. So the progress in solar and wind has not been made. the interest in this place has sagged or has not progressed as it's supposed to because of the excitement and so much interest in information technology. Again, take the next step, something like in the healthcare, in the medical profession. Progress still in these areas has not advanced as it's supposed to, because at this point in time, so many people, as right now, people live longer. People live now like 80, 90, 100 and over. But with that in mind, the area in medical research should target at this people's age. How can they continue to look half of their age while they age? Not only physically but mentally and health-wise, so that they can be able to age gracefully and still be able to enjoy their lives. So that in the area of medicine, a lot of research is still needed in this area. Some serious major sicknesses, diseases that you see confronting mankind, there will still need to be major research in those areas. Then you come to the area of transportation, which of course is the key for us to go from one place to the other. If it comes to vehicle, a lot of noise, talking, going here, going there is going on, but nobody has actually come up with say, hey, with renewable energy, let's get electric vehicles as the most dominant in transportation. You see a lot of engineers, a lot of research, they're coming up, but no support. They're going to propose this, are we gonna use this or use this, wireless charging or this or that. It's not, no support either from the government or private sector. This is a major concern, because if we can be able to get electric vehicles to dominate or to compete as internal combustion engine cars, the environment will be happy, everybody will be happy, things will be much, everybody's health will be improved drastically. Or take, for instance, in the propulsion system, is it about time that people like in the United States or Australia or in Europe or in Africa or in Asia, in the United States, you can get up in the morning, so I have a meeting in Paris. You take off in an hour in Paris, do your meeting, come back to US, the same thing with any other country. So that the research in propulsion system has not advanced as it's supposed to, that we can be able to get aircraft that is operating at a high Mach number, supersonic, not really supersonic, that can make it something like US to Paris in an hour. They had Concorde, which tried, but they dropped it, so no significant progress has made in those areas. So the overall point I'm trying to make is that information technology has actually compromised a lot of progress that was supposed to be made in the area of science and technology sector. This is where I believe that people should start thinking of, because in engineering and technology sector, manufacturing development, it gives you the skill, creates the environment, the opportunity to hire a lot of engineers. But with information technology, information recycling, you're not really doing that much. So that this 21st century economy, there gonna be a lot more emphasis for people to focus in pure science and engineering profession to be able to create the jobs that will be able to improve the economy, that everybody would be able to have access to the type of lifestyle that they desire with booming economy. With that in mind, I'd like to end and thank you for watching. For more information, 408-244-7852, or you can go to www.bta2tv.com. Again, thank you for watching.